Donald Trump was on Good Morning America, and he was speaking about the economy, and he said something that's actually spot on, and nobody else is really talking about it. He said, quote, "It's a very daunting task, and we're in deep trouble. We're in a bubble, and frankly, if there's going to be a bubble popping, I hope they pop before I become president, because I don't want to inherit all this stuff." Okay, well, wait, Donald, if it pops before you become president, the economy is still going to be in the dumps if you were to take office at that time. So that part makes no sense. But he's right about just the fact that we're in a bubble and nobody else is really talking about it. Typically from the Republican candidates, they'll attack Obama for his record on the economy, but all their attacks just happen to be wrong. They happen to be factually incorrect. Like they'll attack his jobs record and the unemployment rate. It's like, wait. But in those areas, he's actually done a decent job. You know, say what you want about the troubles in the economy, and I do, and I will, but with private sector job creation, he's done pretty good. With the unemployment rate, he's done pretty good. So they always manage to find the one area where it makes no sense to attack Obama, and they attack Obama on that. But Donald Trump is actually presenting an attack here that is coherent and actually makes sense. I think we are in a bubble, and I think we are kind of in trouble here. So I've been talking about this for a while. The economy has, in many ways, massively improved under Obama. Just to give you one fact, when George W. Bush left office, he had net lost 646,000 private sector jobs under his administration. With Obama, there's been over 12 million private sector jobs created. But here's the catch to that. So it's better, don't get me wrong, but most of those jobs were low-wage jobs. So it was low-wage job growth. And this gigantic rebound of the stock market that people are talking about from where it was when Bush left office to where it is today, I think that a lot of that is just, reinflating the bubble. So it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, until we have another crash, and it's a matter of what's going to set it off. We have a student loan debt crisis of over $1.2 trillion. We have consumer debt of over $3 trillion. Like I said, we have a reinflated housing bubble. It was the subprime mortgage crisis before. Housing prices rebounded. They're right about where they were before the crash. So, that's unsustainable. It's not like people actually have the money to be getting mortgages and buying houses and stuff. So, and one of the tricks, by the way, is Wall Street went around and bought up all these places where people were kicked out of their homes. They bought up all these places, and now they're renting them back out to people. Ooh, not good. We're doing tricks. This is tricks. You reinflated the housing bubble. And then there's also an unregulated derivatives market of trillions of dollars. And we have a stagnant middle class with the highest levels of income inequality since the Great Depression. And as a result of that, what happens? Well, the jig is up because then the middle class and poor people can't afford to buy the consumer goods that are made by the so-called captains of industry anymore. So the economy grinds to a halt. And it's just a matter of time until, there's a giant crash. So it needs to be... The point is, the fundamentals of the economy are beyond fucked up. And to point out that we're in a bubble is actually true. And there's a political aspect to this as well, which is very scary to think about, which is we've had President Obama in office for a while now. So if the crash happens before he leaves office, obviously people are going to go see liberal ideas are the problem. And the reality, of course, is not that liberal ideas are the problem. The problem is that President Obama did conservative ideas, implemented center-right ideas, which kicked the ball down the road a little bit, and we're going to be presented with the same problem again in just a matter of time. So the problem, they're going to say Dodd-Frank, see, regulation failed, deregulate everything. No. The problem was Dodd-Frank didn't do enough regulation. It didn't do efficient regulation. There were tremendous loopholes in Dodd-Frank. And, the banks went back and Wall Street went back basically to doing what they were doing beforehand. That's the problem. The reality is you need efficient, smart regulation. You need to bring back Glass-Steagall. You need to break up the big banks. Who's calling for these things? That's right, Bernie Sanders is. I mean, that's going to be the solution. But because Obama did half measures, if that, if the crash happens under him or just after he gets out of office, people are going to say, see, liberal ideas are the problem, and then we're in trouble. Because then people can literally, you're at a crossroads, you have a decision to make when, the establishment, centrist, corporatist ideas fail, as they always do. Where are you going to go? There's a fork in the road. You either got to go far right, weird pseudo-fascism, Donald Trump style, Ted Cruz style, or you got to veer left and go social democracy style and actually fix the underlying problems in the economy. And, you know, it all depends on when the crash happens, and it all depends on how the American people interpret what happened with the crash. But either way, it's a scary thing, and it would have been better if we just dealt with the fundamental problems when the original crash happened in 2008, and if Obama came in and he was a second FDR, and he didn't do a half-measure stimulus package that had a lot of tax cuts in it. He didn't do bailouts and without strings attached and then not re-regulate efficiently. He should have addressed these problems from day one in an FDR Part 2 kind of way, and then we wouldn't have to worry about this bubble that we're clearly in today.